Fenrir Awakening is better than GoldenEye after the changes. Hard to say. It is, I would say it's still in testing right now. We're still in like the testing phase. But so far, I've been using Fenrir for every fight, right? The reason, okay, so there's some good reasons for using Fenrir. The first one being that as a Death Strike or as a Loyal Companion player, right? Regardless of whether you are Death Strike or Loyal Companion, where do you think most of the damage drops off for you in a fight? When your Hawk doesn't have the meter, right? When your Hawk meter is empty, your damage isn't amplified. Same for Loyal Companion, same for Death Strike. And what do you think Fenrir does after the changes? What it does is that when you fire it, right, like you see, you don't have to hit any target at all. The moment you unleash it, right, you can activate the Hawk immediately, right? And another thing is that, let's say that the boss is over here, right? What you can do is that since Fenrir it travels a long distance, right? And let's say you are playing Loyal Companion build, correct? Imagine you are a Loyal Companion, for example. What you can do is fire Fenrir from a distance, right? You fire it spacebar, activate Fenrir like that, right? That means that Fenrir flying across, right, before it hits the boss, you already summon the Hawk. And one cool feature you can do is that when you space like that, right? Or not when you space, but the moment you summon Fenrir, right, you can snipe immediately and then you can summon the Hawk again, right? You don't have to summon the Hawk, then throw snipe. While you're in the animation of snipe itself, right, like that, right? When you're casting snipe, you can press the Hawk. You can press it in order for you to apply the bonus damage onto snipe. So it means that you don't have to preemptively cast this. You can just cast snipe straight away and press the Z key to turn on Loyal Companion. And it also deals more damage than GoldenEye, right? It does more damage when you can strike the boss 4 times. If you only strike the boss 3 times and none of them crit, right? None of the Fenrir hits crit. It does around same-ish damage or so. So let's do like a quick comparison, right? A quick one. Let me change my build for a bit. Right? A quick comparison. This is a very realistic situation, right? When you guys enter a raid, let's say, what does NA have right now? North America, right? North America EU service. What do they have right now? Vulcan. No, not Vulcan. They have Argos, right? When you first enter Argos... Shit, I need to take off my engraving. Hold on. Right? So when you first enter Argos, when you go into the first boss, this will be what your sharpshooter looks like, right? So look at the gauge. The gauge will be empty and you'll be starting the phase 1 fight, right? When you're going for phase 1. And usually most people will bring GoldenEye. But the problem with this is a lot of people might overlook this, right? That when you enter a fight as sharpshooter and you don't have your meter, right? Do you think you'll be doing a lot of damage within the first few seconds or like the first few rotations that you're building up your meter? So for a sharpshooter to really maximize the damage that they do, they always use this key item, which is Awakening Potion. Yeah, exactly that, Nameless. Awakening Potion. It sounds very costly, it sounds very expensive, it sounds like a stretch to do, but if you truly want to maximize your damage, this is the item that people usually bring. But what if you don't want to do that, right? What if you don't want to start with that? What you can do is you can just Awakening at the start of the fight and then, do your rotation. So let's say, right? Let's summon a boss and that's not a boss. So let's like summon a boss, and I'm gonna swap to specialty here. Right? And let's say that, let's start with the one with, let's not use any awakening here, but let's start with just this, right? You imagine if you awakening potion at the start of the fight. So this is how much damage you can do in 1 minute if you use awakening potion at the fight. Right? You do this, this is like your basic rotation, blah blah blah. Blade Storm. Summon Hawk to get back adrenaline stacks. And toss the Hawk. Right? And same thing, wait for Blade Storm again. Blade Storm. Summon the Hawk. Throw your atomic arrow, nuke the Hawk, snipe, and same thing over and over again, right? 39 seconds, so I can throw out one more rotation right now. Right? Throw that. So it did about 323, correct? Now let's try it without Hawk meter, right? Let's see how much damage you lose in just a minute, right? At the very beginning of the fight. So you start like this, right? Usually you just Blade Storm, Dagger Slash, and then you only get half meter. Since you only get half meter, you throw out your rotation regardless, right? And then now you wait again. Usually auto attack to keep up the in combat. Okay, now you're going to get it back. So throw atomic arrow already. And then nuke. And you start your rotation, right? So it takes you, it only, with about 800 specialty and the new sharpshooter bonus patches, it takes you about one, it means that one of your rotation will not get the bonus from Death Strike in a real fight. If you take Dagger as well, if you take Cyber Dagger, it might be 2 rotations for most people, by the way, in most scenarios. You see how earlier we dealt 323 mil and now we do 271? Simply by having your Hawk meter full from the very beginning, right? And when you think about it, right? Over the whole course of the raid, yes, it might not affect it as much. It will only affect your beginning, but the beginning means a lot of damage as well because you're losing 44% in the new patch and 40% damage on one rotation. It's pretty big. It's like, you know, that time when you play Death Strike, right? You miss a last rush. It feels bad, doesn't it? But for some reason, when we go into a raid, it doesn't feel that way because it feels natural to build up the gauge from 0, right? That's where Fenrir comes in, right?